What's going on, aquarium builders? We are at a very cool shop here in Jacksonville, Florida, Natural Environment Aquatix. I love this place. They have freshwater, they have saltwater, they have a lot of cool things here on the floor, cool furniture for your aquarium, the stuff that you'd want to put in your house and it be an actual piece of furniture. So I want to show you a lot of cool stuff here, inspiration for your own home to set up your aquarium. All right, I had him turn down the music so you can hear me a little bit better. And I wanted to just show off this place. I really think this store has done a nice job making a great environment for you to come and shop for your aquariums, your fish, your aquascaping materials. They have it all here, so let's check them out. I love this store. This just feels so good. No, it looks really cool. You'll do both fresh and saltwater here?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to show off your fish for me?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's check it out.
I guess we'll start on this side since the freshwater is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
What's your favorite freshwater fish? And I can try to show you.
I like rainbows the most,
Okay,
because they have like a lot of vibrant color. And then as they get bigger, their colors intensify too, right?
Yeah.
And so
yeah. So I have the turquoises here. They already are showing a little bit of their blue and everything, but some of them are still a little bit younger, and there's probably a good mix of females in there too.
Hello.
So what are you feeding, Sean?
I'm feeding the extreme food. Nice. 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 Naturally intense color enhancer. But I just like to say nice. Nice. It just sounds good, right? Okay. You've got the turquoise. Do you have any other?
I have the blue kamakas back here.
Very good.
And then I can take y'all back up front to show y'all the display.
Oh, okay. This wall that you have over here looks incredible.
Thank you. Nor our hair algae outbreak. I got some flagfish in there trying to go after it, but I have the bozemantes, the orange bozemantes in there with a few of the others.
And they get so much more vibrant as they get bigger. Like, remember the fish crew out in Fort Collins? They have like massive ones that have been in there for years, and they look really, really good.
That's the goal, is to have them really big and nice, maybe even move them to the bigger tank as they grow out.
See, even she says it. Nice. Nice. All right, that looks cool.
It never even made it halfway down.
I know. I'm trying to get it down to these snails here at the bottom that have been just, you know, they have all that algae to take care of, and they don't get. Maybe that's better that we don't get them any food at the bottom then.
No treats.
Some in the back. You see those guys in the back?
Since we're already over here, we can look at these two tanks.
Yeah.
This is our Discus display, also a planet aquarium.
Yeah.
And then we have this one here. This is more showing off the plants than it is the fish, but it's the UNS tank.
These have grown out super nice.
Yeah, these are my favorite plants.
That's your very favorite?
Yeah, just because of how hardy they are and how quickly they grow. That's the indica, and then this is the pogo. I forgot the exact strand.
It all looks really good. And then you even have some plants growing out of the back here. Those look really cool.
The allocation.
Yeah, I used to call these, you know what I called these as a kid? Because there's this florist down the street, it was massive, and they were called Nick Shan florists. So, and they had this as their logo, these two little leaves, so I used to call them Nick Shans.
Oh, okay.
So, and it took me a while to realize that that's not what they were, but hey, I was only like 8, 9 years old, so cut me some slack. All right, cool. And let's talk about discus. Like, a lot of people get intimidated by discus. What would you say to somebody that wants to do discus? I mean, they're a lot easier than they used to be because they're tank raising these now.
Yeah.
They can acclimate to, you know, more neutral waters versus like a sub-neutral pH. Versus you need that sub-neutral pH when you're dealing with wild-caught discus. Do you do wild-caught discus or do you do tank?
We've done them in the past, but most of the time I do the tank race just because it's easier for the customer. When we get the wild-caught, it's normally ordered specifically for a customer.
And have you found that that's just a much better success rate for these customers?
Pretty much, yeah.
So would you think someone has to still be an expert to do discus?
No, I always tell people I wouldn't say be a beginner for them, but if you've had at least 1 or 2 successful fish tanks, I think you're fine with these. Keep their water clean, feed them heavy, keep the water warm, you'll be fine. Give them enough space.
I'm gonna feed them since you told me that I need to feed them heavy. But there's just such good colors.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like before, when I first started, not maybe when I first started a hobby, but when I first started working on kind of the manufacturing and professional side, I went to some discus shows, and they weren't very intimidating and very hard to do. But over the last like 5 years, I'd say, discus have become so much easier.
Yeah.
So, what size aquarium would you recommend for somebody that wanted to do a discus aquarium?
I mean, normally I'd say like minimum 90. I mean, if you're getting babies, you could probably start with a slightly smaller tank, but you just have to upgrade as time goes on.
I'd always say that 4-foot tank and larger would be kind of my sweet spot, because you get, especially for larger fish like that, you give them enough room to swim left and right, right? But with the 90, as you mentioned, that's going 18 inches deep, and I think that's important as well. So an 18 by 25 by 48 on the 90.
Yeah.
Is that? I think that's
that
right.
sounds about right.
Yeah. 75 is 21 tall, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And what I liked about this is you showed off kind of your plants and your discus tank here, but you have a lot of driftwood here. Not a lot of stores carry a lot of different options for driftwood, but that was one of my favorite things when I first walked in the stores. You just had all these options for aquascaping materials.
Oh yeah.
Will you show that off to me so we can
of course.
let people know what types of driftwoods that
so
they
the
can consider as
driftwood
options?
is probably one of our best sellers, just because we're constantly doing tank installs and people are always getting new tanks and upgrading. But yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of everything. I have the eucalyptus that's really cool, and then of course the spiderwood on slates that I recommend to people that aren't wanting to put a lot of effort into aquascaping, because they don't have to worry about it floating.
And it's just so important that it's on the slate, right?
Yeah.
Because so many people, and in a lot of stores too, you just see the spiderwood, right? And you hear and talk to consumers, hobbyists that tried out the spiderwood, and they had to like let it float for a long time, like weeks before it become waterlogged and come down.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, why didn't you just drill it to a piece of slate? And they're like, you can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that
it makes a major difference. Yeah.
Instantly put it exactly where you want it to, and it just branches out so nicely. And then what's this stuff here? This is the black spider one.
Yeah, and it's from
I don't
UNS.
see this
It's
often at
interesting.
all.
Yeah. It's a really big seller for us too, just because it's perfect for a nano tank and it's so unique with like the darker colors.
I do like that. I'm gonna convince Tideline to pick that up. All right, now tell me about this honeycomb wood. This is awesome too.
Oh yeah, the honeycomb's really cool, just because it almost, a lot of people mistake it for rock, like once you hit it, because it looks like dragonstone.
Yeah, it does. Or like a petrified.
But like Anubias and stuff, like in the little holes there.
Think about this for the aquascaping table. This is how I'll parlay to your aquascaping table.
Okay.
Okay, so look at these, people, and how awesome you can make this if you stand it up, just like that.
It looks like an old school cathedral.
I know, this is what I was thinking, especially, wow, and you just kind of stack it together like this, and you can have like a multi-layer look. And I think this is why aquascaping has gotten so much more popular these days, because when I first started in the hobby, I'll be honest, I wouldn't touch freshwater, but it was because your options to do freshwater and scaping was like Holy Rock, Texas Holy Rock, red lace rock, right? And like some river rocks and things like that. And it was just nothing. But now you have all this different type of materials to scape with. And I think it's gotten really popular with the aquascaping boom, which, hey, all of those guys I've come to know as really awesome people. So I would do something like that and stand it up straight. Now you could lay it flat and layer it like that, but I really think standing it up straight, even if it does come out of the top of the water a little bit, I think it would look really good. Now, does this float when you take it in the water?
Yes. I don't think it will take as long to get waterlogged, but
you can put that on the slate too, or any type of base rock, and then put the substrate
gluing
over
it together probably would help weigh it down a little bit more.
Put it on one piece of slate and then glue it together like that. And just layer it coming down and let it kind of disappear off, and then use a little bit of a different colored gravel over your like sandy substrate, and I think it would look really good, and you'd have yourself a scape. I see you have Mopani. It's some really good looking Mopani.
Mopani's it's a really popular one, but it leaks a lot of tannins, so that's the only thing. I warn people every time they buy it, because I'm like, it's gonna turn your water dark.
Very cool looking. I think you have to have a lot of it to make this look good, because you really kind of have to make that the feature piece of your aquarium. If you just put one in there, I think you just
like a root ball.
Yeah, you really do. You kind of have to, like, I would put, like, if it was a 90, we're talking about a 90 I'd put 15 or 16 pieces in a 90. And attach it together too.
Yeah.
I love to see you have Extreme, obviously sponsors of our channel, walking around feeding it.
Yeah, Extreme's our favorite.
And what are you feeding here?
So right now we feed all of ours the community.
Community.
We do feed the cichlid as well and the nano. But I've messed around with all of them.
I know what you did. I've seen this stuff, and I know Tideline has it as well, the Tideline plants. Is this that Tideline square over and over and over again?
It's not, but it looks just like it. I joked with Ronnie, I was like, we could just order a bunch of that and use it. But no, this is just off Amazon, and we just have it
like
stapled in. Yeah,
Oh,
it's actually little squares. It looks just like the Tideline plant.
Yeah, that is so cool. And then you just had this made, which is awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
With the Frontosa there, right?
The Calvis.
Oh, that's a Calvis. I love Tanganyikan cichlids. Do you guys kind of scour the pages looking for cool Tanganyikans and stuff?
It's hard with the Tanganyikans because they're not as big of a seller as like your regular at like Malawi and stuff like that. But we do carry in a bunch of the more rare ones because when we do
You
sell
want to show them to me?
if I have any still, let's see. Yes, I still have one Calvis left.
Oh, he is magnificent.
And then I have some of the Tropheus right here.
Oh, and I love these. The Debossi. How do you even pronounce that?
I say Du Bois, but I don't know if I'm
You're
right or
probably
not.
right. What would you say, Evie?
Duboisi.
See? All right. Sarah, you're out.
I don't
Okay, it's 2 versus 1.
I'm the worst person to
I'm not
ask.
a
Yeah.
freshie.
Someone comment down below and tell us how to say it.
I'm not a freshie person.
Oh, no,
And
these
then
are
these little
awesome.
guys are also Tanganyikan in the back. This one is the Katoomba.
The Katoomba. Yeah. You know, I was so allergic to the freshwater side when I worked at Dallas North Aquarium when I was growing up in the hobby. But this was the only thing I enjoyed selling was the Tanganyikans because they were just so colorful, and they get along pretty well together, and very hardy, easy to do, and full like a solid color, not like a transparent, translucent color, like a very solid color, kind of like saltwater was.
I have a black widow frontosa and then a black calvis in here, but they're babies.
Oh, those look nice. And those will look magnificent as they get bigger. And it's not too, I mean, yeah, the black widow is going to be a little bit more expensive, but that black calvis isn't that.
That's something you have to know what you're purchasing. You don't just look at it and go, oh, that's just a frontosa. You have to know it's a special type of frontosa.
And they're easy to do. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't say that way. I mean, still, like, if a beginner wanted to start with frontosa, would you say that they could do it?
I would say so, as long as
Yeah.
they're willing to get the right tank size, they're not hard to, because even with their aggression level, you can almost put them with some more mild-mannered cichlids and they'll be fine. And then they also hold their own just fine with more aggressive cichlids. So that's why I like them so much.
Let's check out some of your saltwater stuff.
Okay, yeah. So right now with the saltwater, we don't have too much in. This is our frag tank built by Planet.
I love that you put the monos in here.
Yeah, they've been a big help with like algae control, and then they also add a little bit of life in there too.
Well, and you don't see monos featured very often. So,
Oh, I have a lot of customers that come in and they have no idea what it is because you don't see people showing those very often. Or if they do, they just have them, like, because we used to have them at the other stores just brackish.
that powder blues. How long have you had the powder blue?
He's been in there for a few months now. Not crazy long, but
Yeah. Now, are you giving him seaweed or anything like that, or are you just letting him eat algae?
we do
and
the
stuff?
seaweed and then a few mixes of like frozen food for everybody else in there.
No. Look, they have the solar wrasse. I haven't seen those in a store in a while. That is one of my favorite fairy wrasses.
Yeah.
And fairly easy to do. A nice, easier fairy wrasse. A lot of people ask me what would I recommend if I was going to go with fairy wrasse. And I used to exclusively start people on solar fairy wrasses, and I think that they're pretty hardy. Have you had success with the solar wrasses?
Yeah, we've had a couple of them come in where we get our fish from. They normally always have them on the list, and they're so pretty. And like you said, they're so hardy that I always try to keep them coming in.
Yeah, that's a good one to go with.
Like-
Is that a snowflake?
Yeah. He's been here for a minute just because, these need like a specific home, that's going to care for him. And so he's just been kind of like our little pet.
What's he eating?
So right now they're feeding him some clam on a half shell and then chunks of frozen food.
And he's
He'll-
eating that
yeah.
well?
And he'll come out into some of my employees. He's really developed a relationship with some of my employees where he'll come and eat out of their hands.
They're a lot more engaging and interactive than most people would think, and it's not a big scary eel like a tessellata.
Yeah.
I know that's the ones that Evie likes to play with, tessellata eels, and the ones that look like they want to bite your hand off. But I always liked these snowflake morays. I like the golden eels or banana eels. More expensive to get a banana eel, right? But if you want to have a nice introductory eel, snowflake all the way, wouldn't you say, Evie? Or
Yeah, snowflake or zebra.
or zebra eel? Yep.
Zebras are very docile.
Oh,
This guy's really cool, yeah.
Oh, that's a little. Oh, the undulature. Yes.
Every time I would order him, he would get zeroed out, and they finally sent me one. I was really excited because of how pretty he is.
Very
Undulars are tough to get a hold of. They can be kind of aggressive, but they have some of the best color payoff of all the triggers.
So that guy already has a home. He's going to Salt Life Food Shack in Fernandina. They have an aquarium there that was built by the people from Tanked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's going in there, and then we have a couple other fish that are going.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then obviously something super easy for, peacock cichlids, right? And so not hard to do, very colorful. A lot of people breed them, and they have a lot of fun. I see you have some obies, and
That's the peacock, or
what's
well, that
the
one might
type?
be the sunshine.
The sunshine, right?
Yeah, the sunshine peacock.
I was going to say sunrise, but I think, yeah, you're right. They're sunshine. But
this blue one in the back with the checkered spots, he's my favorite. He's a Livingstone eye.
He is very nice.
yeah. Yeah, very easy to do. Nice option for people that aren't ready to quite to step up to the challenge of saltwater, even though I don't think saltwater is very hard. Just kind of a recipe, being disciplined, listening to one source of information instead of 10 or 20. Maybe that's the same with any type of fish. When you're starting off in the aquarium hobby, don't get overwhelmed with trying to source your information from a bunch of different people, because there's a lot of different ways to do it, and you're going to be trying a piece of everybody's advice and not quite get the result you want. This would be the type of store that I would recommend. Obviously you can see that Sarah is dedicated to what she's doing, and just stick with that source of advice. You can go to other fish stores, check out things, but I wouldn't buy without permission, because that's when you always get yourself in trouble or try anything crazy. Definitely try to stick with that advice center, and I think you'll do just fine. So,
Yeah.
It's always so frustrating though when you have somebody that you've sold the aquarium and you've helped them get it going, and then all of a sudden they come back a couple of weeks later and they're like, I messed up everything because I went on a buying spree over here, brought a bunch of fish in there that I shouldn't have, and now I've got some problems in the aquarium.
Yeah, that happens.
Oh, look at your green spot, Puffer. He looks awesome.
So that guy currently is in brackish water. He's been here for a little while, and he loves the clam on the half shells. Just like almost any puffer, you got to feed them that, so that way they'll shave down their beak on the clam.
He's so happy looking. He started off with a frowny face at first.
Now he's got it.
Now he's happy.
No, I love the puffers. We used to have a big MBU puffer at our other store that was like our mascot for a little while.
Kind of like a aquarium co-op,
Yeah,
right?
kind of.
And you're an aquarium co-op store as well,
Yes.
so you have all of their products as well. Good shout out to Corey. Love the content that he's put out there and the education he's provided for the hobby. Good source of information as well. Safe place to go to get information that's cross-referenced and checked, right?
Definitely, yeah. Can I show you the lungfish actually?
Yeah.
Okay. This little guy in here won't be little for forever. But whenever I first started here, when I found out what this was, I just thought he was the coolest thing ever.
Wow. I too glanced at him and I thought he was a biker at first, because I just walked by and I was like, oh, he's got one. But yeah, now that I can take a closer look, that is awesome. So this is an African lungfish. Why don't you tell me, Sarah, what someone would have to take on to do the African lungfish?
So those guys, he definitely is going to need a very large tank. I don't remember his exact size, right off the top of my head, but definitely going to be up in the 100 to 200 gallon range. Most of the time needs to be kept by himself. It's kind of hit or miss on how he's going to do with his tank mates, because he's lazy, but he is an ambush predator. So I had a customer one time that had, I think, African and then another type of lungfish together for years, like 10 years, and then one day woke up and they had just killed each other. So it's one of those things where it's hit or miss if they're gonna.
What does he like to eat?
So he'll eat actual like feeders and stuff like that. Sometimes you can get him on like some chunks of frozen. This guy, I think they only have him on the feeders, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a little guppy in there fighting for his life right now.
That's great advice on the lungfish. If you want a lungfish, call up Sarah. She'll give you some really good advice with the lungfish. Where you have this massive planted, not planet, but planted. It is a planted aquarium. No, this looks great.
Thank you. It's pretty sparse right now because we sell through the plants like crazy. I normally get plant shipments in about once a week to every 2 weeks because of how quickly they sell. So.
Isn't that just blown up planted, like aquariums?
Crazy.
And they just, I mean, there's so much fun stuff to do with it. And I think it's mainly, I feel like we have a lot of the same options that we had with plants years ago, but I feel like what you scape it with has completely changed, like I said earlier, and I think that makes it look so much more, cosmetically appealing for the aquarium. And so, love how you have kind of the aquarium co-op style in every single aquarium here with air bubblers and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, at our other store, everything's on a system, and we found when we started this store, it's a lot easier just to kind of control certain things when we just do it all on one sponge and everything. And then also we always have like a backup option. It's a good way to show customers what they look like, and then it's a backup option if the power ever goes out, to kind of explain to customers, showing them what we have.
Yeah, to have battery backups on these air bubblers, because they would last for days on a battery backup if it's just an air bubbler, right?
Yeah.
Or how long does your battery backups last if the power would go out?
I think the ones we have right now are, I think it's like about 2 to 3 days worth. Yeah.
And that's going to get you through, to keep enough oxygen in the aquarium.
So it's still a newer tank, so my corals still have to grow and everything, but we recently have been stocking it up.
Yeah, it looks good. I see you have some Duncan in there, which when I started in the hobby, Duncan was so rare.
Really?
To get ahead of this and that was a company that I don't even know if they've turned into something else, but they were called Fish Heads, and they come in on a little plug. Like one polyp of Duncan was like $100. And I remember my friend Mike Ferguson, he got this one polyp of Duncan ordered to the store, and I'd never seen it before. And now it's pretty plentiful, and it's a very easy coral to keep. So Duncan is a good coral for beginners, I would even say. You go, is this some Kenya tree?
I believe so. So this and like the other piece behind there, that was all surrendered to us by a customer, and we had it for a little while quarantining it, and then we added it to here. It was a huge piece that we broke up.
Yeah, and you've got some Florida Recordia here, and that's super hard to come by. You can't pull it from the ocean
That one's
anymore.
probably my favorite one in there, just because like you can see that one right there is already spreading down the sides of the rock, and it hasn't been in there very long.
Oh, but they're very, very, very slow growers. So it might have been spreading a little bit already, but as it starts to feel comfortable, but these will grow so slow.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so rare, because the Florida Recordia is just, they don't not like a Yuma. A Yuma will reproduce faster, right, Evie? But these Florida Recordias, maybe if you had a colony of 5, you might get one polyp a year.
They make more eggs.
Yeah.
That's the downside.
And they're just so colorful, but very rare, hard to get. Can't pull them out of the ocean, and you shouldn't because they're very endangered. But there's a lot that have been aquacultured, so we still have them in the hobby because thankfully we've been aquaculturing them at our facilities. So I love to have those. I mentioned these plants earlier when I wasn't on film, but I think this is an excellent idea that you've done, is put some really cool plants because houseplants is something that I think that is very popular for aquarium keepers as well, especially if you're on the planted aquarium side. And so really cool that you've brought those into the store. What made you want to do that?
Selfishly, just because I love them so much, but then a lot of crossover between customers, and I have a lot of plant shop owners that I would go shopping at that I would recognize as customers in our store. So I knew that the crossover was there.
Yeah,
a lot of these,
really cool.
Yeah, a lot of these too, you can get different setups and have them where their roots are down in the water of your aquarium. Like you can do a lot with them, or at least put them next to your aquarium.
I've seen like customized backgrounds too, where you can have this customized background wall. I know that Planted's done it as well, but I think when I was younger, they just cut little holes in the custom background, and you can put them down in there, and they'll grow out, and you have a nice aqua plantarium.
White leaf.
Yeah. What? Is that a pink princess?
I think so.
This one here? Yeah. I've paid hundreds of dollars for that before. What do you have here down here? Is this what you're feeding?
So that's the
this
neem
is
oil.
the neem oil.
I specifically like that one because it's a lemon scent.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever,
yeah.
Neem oil is one of the worst smelling things on the planet.
Really?
Yeah, but that is amazing. That I would use as an air freshener because it's so good.
So neem oil was actually in a product that I worked for with Fritz, right?
Okay.
Called Parashield, and it's a natural product that is in. It's basically in. They take the neem oil, manuka, capsaicin, several different oils that are used in a lot of different industries, one being plants and foods, and they impregnate a shrimp shell biopolymer called chitosan, and they make the medication that way. If you haven't checked out that Parashield, it's one of my favorite medications in the hobby because it is reef safe, plant safe, and you can put it inside of the aquarium without worrying about it, like, you know, just destroying and wrecking your bioload. And it actually, since it's in a biopolymer, it is attracted to the fish because it's negatively charged and fish are positively charged, so it brings the medication to the fish.
Okay.
Like putting Neosporin on your cut versus bathing in, you know, diluted Neosporin. So I love that to see that that you have the neem oil in there. What is in the kit? Like, wait, I don't even know this company, so this isn't like an ad, but I just want to know what's in this. What is this?
So that's just like a powder. It's almost like a fertilizer in there. They have a powder, they have a growth liquid over here, and then another small version of their neem oil. And then some of them come with like little mitts in there so you can like wipe off the leaves and everything.
And it comes with a handle. And you just grab the kit.
And the packaging is cute.
This is cool. All right, well, shout out to this company for making a cool, I don't even know who they are, but hey, good job. All right. I would like to talk about these Planet Aquarium displays that you have that are getting ready to go out, because I want to brag about the side door that Darren over here, he knows I invented it, but he's just trying to take credit for himself.
Oh, did you really? That's
yeah,
awesome.
I totally did. But
that's like one of my main like selling points to people is
the
I'm like, you can work on it from anywhere.
Yes, from the side.
Oh, that wouldn't know. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, I've got a new idea that I can't even tell you about yet that I am convincing Darren at Planet to do. He's working on it, but it's just going to revolutionize stands for you. I promise.
Okay.
But tell me, what do you like about the Planet and Tideline aquariums? What makes it easy to order? Why do you order so much of them? Why are they all over your floor?
So these are all over the floor because they were pre-picked out by customers online or based off of like looking at our displays that we have, like the wet or the dry displays over there.
Right.
But these guys, they sell really easily just because one, you can choose between a show or the Reef. And then also because they're a good price point and they're simple, and a lot of people like the actual
having
furniture
the versatility
look.
of
and this.
the side door and the furniture. It's just quality. It's not
people
cheap.
like the stuff like where it's the plastic stand look and stuff like that, but a lot more people like the furniture look because it matches. Like almost all my customers, I have a block sheet with different wood samples and they want it to match their furniture.
And they come completely built. You don't have to build them yourselves, like with some of the other things. All the crystalline stuff comes completely built. And yeah, you were mentioning that they have the block style. You show this to your customers when they're checking it out?
Yeah, and on the back it will say the color and it'll say what kind of wood they used for it.
But the number one reason to go with Planet is this side door right here.
Yes.
And that was my idea.
Yes,
so
I almost didn't even make an account with Planet until I saw that.
Yeah, this is it, Darren. Okay, all right. I think we've seen enough here. Okay. All right, Sarah. Thank you so much for being a good sport. I had to beg her to get on this video with me, but I promised it would be easy. And you did awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next time we'll talk about more of what you want to talk about. Just comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next on the Aquarium Builders channel. Until then, what do I normally say if you watch on my videos?
You can't put me on the spot like that.
It.